Hello and welcome back to another new edition of Windows and Current Affairs, and today we talk about the national project for empowering and enforcing the Egyptian families. Of course, the Egyptian administration took a great concern on that particular front, and even a forum was held earlier last week in Al Masa Hotel, and where President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi initiated that program or that project in order to be able to develop with the circumstances and the livelihoods of Egyptian families and the low-income brackets, and try to upgrade their livings. And of course, this comes in parallel with the infrastructural projects and the housing projects and the restoration or the renovation of informal settlements and all that. We're going to be talking in detail about that very important project by the Egyptian administration and what are the intricate details for that project and more. We're very delighted to be having with us a dear guest, and he is an expert, and he's going to talk to us about how this project is going to effect a boom in the Egyptian community or the Egyptian society. He is Mr. Mohamed Salah. He's a member of Board of Directors, Egyptian Youth Organization. Good evening, Mr. Mohamed Salah.
Good evening, good evening. I'd like to thank you. Let me express that I'm very happy to be with you today, and I wish an informative and successful meeting with you and with your audience.
It's our real pleasure to have you tonight. Let us first talk about or give a definition of that particular project, because this particular project is going to take Egypt to a whole new level. Why? And what exactly is that project?
As you have said in your intro, I'd like to, Egypt now witnesses a huge number of national projects at the same way, in the many sectors and in the many aspects. These all projects are calling or are targeting the Egyptian family. Because of this is the main unit or the main factor of the Egyptian society in general. So now Egypt is starting its family in order to make them feeling with the new or the updates that happened through this huge number of national projects, such as social housing, such as modern education, such as health, such as many other projects that are all serving the Egyptian society or the Egyptian population. The importance of this project, which is held or adopted by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, is that you will change the facts. You will change the life in Egypt. It's a natural result or like a natural outcome from all the previously mentioned projects, such as Hayat Karima or Decent Life Initiative. We are talking in a parallel way to add value or to add new value for the Egyptians who are living in those cities. When we started with the infrastructure, when we started with the networks, such as networks of water, electricity, such as natural gas, communication, we are also dealing with the humans who are living in these cities and in these villages in order to develop their abilities, develop their skills, attitudes, in order to achieve, in order to improve also, we have to improve also the KPIs or what we are calling the KPIs of the population in Egypt. We have a real problem for these KPIs, which is about the high growing and fast growing average of newly born children. We have a problem with the high level of crimes. We have a high level of divorcement. So we have a lot of problems with the human resources in Egypt, and we are working to improve this resource, as we are all working for the benefits of it. So we have to concentrate more on giving them the right way to work in. We have to support them to find and know how they got the benefits from all the national projects that are going now.
And of course, this particular project did not come out I mean, all of a sudden. It's a result of a collaboration of many efforts
Yes.
by different people and from civil society and different organizations and probably, of course, many national projects were initiated in that particular domain, including the social housing, the modern education, the health, the social security programs and sports, in addition, of course, to the most important and the major national project of Haya Karima. That is gathering all these types of projects under its umbrella. If you like to elaborate.
I'd like to say that there is a collaboration, and what makes this project is different now is the integration between all parts or all stakeholders in Egypt. We have a collaboration between the governmental sector and the private sector and NGOs and civil society organizations. They are all taking part in this initiative. They are all taking part in implementing these actions or implementing this project. The second is that we are gathering efforts for all Egyptians and for all the Egyptians in order to work in the right way for the Egyptian society. And this is the main mistake or the main action that were not taken into consideration because of many things. We used to work in isolation. We used to work everyone on his track or on his field or on his way. But now in this project we are all gathering all the people from all the fields, from all the sectors. We are talking about education, we are talking about health, we are talking about communication, we are talking about electricity and power, we are talking about how to help them to do business. We will train them in order to do business better. They will depend on their own skills and or talents in order to achieve sustainable income, which help them to get social security, as we can what's called social security. And this income will be sustainable. They will be apart from a whole, and this is the importance of this. Especially we are dealing with those who are under the poverty level. These 1,500 cities or villages are the most poor villages in Egypt. So we have to solve the problem of the poverty. We have to solve the problems of knowledge. We have to solve the problem of the lack of services. We have to solve the problem of ignorance and misunderstood of religious speech. We have to make it all together in one pound or one project, and we have to go to these people in one group and have to take them out to tell them how to make the best use of this project.
Amazing. But if we talk about the importance of that particular project that is highly empowered by the Egyptian administration, the Egyptian administration wants to relate the current economic growth with the population. If you like to explain that particular phrase and how is it going to affect development inside the Egyptian society?
Let me say that this is a major problem that we are facing today, is that most of the population or the people in Egypt say that he is not feeling with the effect of the economic growth that's happening now in Egypt. Although we have a great economic growth which enable Egypt to go through a universal crisis like Corona or like current war that's held in Russia. But at the same time, our people don't know how to feel this effect on his life. So we have to take the importance of this initiative or this project into consideration because of a lot of things. First, I'd like to say to the people in Egypt that the high and the fastest growing rate of birth will not enable you to feel the advantages of the economic growth. So we have to downsize the birth rate in Egypt. You have to know that you don't want to give another baby or give a new baby whether you don't provide him with the sufficient materials or sufficient resources to make him living happy. Not only it's giving a baby only. No, you have to plan to this baby. You have to give him his right before he comes to the life. This is the main, and this is the first importance. The second importance is to express the great concern from the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the human rights in Egypt, and providing the people in Egypt with their basic needs and their basic rights in the level of environmental basis, in life of economic basis, in level of economic basis, and level of living standards, and he is improving these standards as he can. He is developing all systems and all databases in Egypt in order to achieve in order to achieve what the people need to know. And the last one and the third one, which is important, is to change our wrong culture. We have a false and a wrong culture, which is really derived from false religious understanding, false religious understanding for the religious. So I'd like to say that we have representatives from Al-Azhar and the church in this project. They will go to visit homes. They will go to clarify the right meaning for the Egyptians from the religious perspective, to find a solution for this problem.
How do we convince them that the lower the birth rate is, the most developed society could be, the most standards, the most better standards they could be living in, because President Sisi have taken special note on that particular, lowering the birth levels. He talked and said it's one of the priorities for the Egyptian administrations, and one of the priorities for the future of the development of all, the nation, especially Egyptian society.
Well, how to convince them? First of all, you have to...
are there any regulations? Are there any rules set? Is there an enforcement of the law? Because some countries are, adapting to legalizing
I got your
or
point.
changing the law.
I got your point, but we have to say that facing these ideas, or facing this, achieving this target cannot be faced by law only.
Exactly, but if you could allow me to get in here, because President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have also noted that lowering the birth rate is for the sake of respecting the human rights for every human being.
Yes.
Because the more you give birth to babies, the more they are deprived or denied of their human rights, because they're not achieving their basic human rights. You know, divided these rights over a huge number is not like dividing the rights over two,
yes,
or one, or three.
Yes, and this is the importance of this project. You are dealing with the people indirect. In this project, we are dealing in parallel with Hayat Karima, or decent life. So you will do many things at the same time in one place. First, you will provide them with basic needs such as water and electricity and telecommunications. Once they got these needs, they will change from their inside. They will take the experience. They will change their mentality, and they know that life is different between they will differentiate between the life without networks and without services and without economic growth. And after that, they will know what we mean. They don't interact with us because we are talking all the time. We never try to go to contact them. We never try to speak with them. We never try to go to them, to their houses, and speak with them as we are planning to do now. I'd like to say that in this program we are talking about many dimensions to work in or to execute. And the first is economic dimension. We have an economic dimension which is about setting incentives for those who will have one or two children only, and this is for the first. And second, we will have to work in the work of micro project in order to give them the ability to work effectively and to gain income and sustainable income. We will train the women, especially those who are caring for the family, what they are called breadwinners, women who are
or the single moms.
Or single moms, yes, but I'd like to
supporting women
who are responsible for this, for the family, whether they are divorced,
they form like 95% of society now.
What?
They form like 90% of society now.
Yes, so we are talking this, we are targeting them in order to solve this problem and to provide them with basics of life to live in. We have also problems in the economic dimension. We have also problems to be solved throughout what's called on-site training or on-site training, which is targeting. I'm going to give you a full course in order to prepare you to work this problem. We will want them to depend on their talents. If you have the talent of selling, of talent of cows, or buffaloes, something like that, you have to work with them in order to get the milk of this and to sell it, to afford them with minimum level or the most minimum level of income to help them in their life. About the second dimension, which is which is cultural dimension, and as we have mentioned, because we will have representatives from Al-Azhar and the church, and to speak to them and to try to convince them to change their bad or their false understandings about giving or delivering babies. So they have to change these ideas order throughout this. In this idea, we will have what's called a site. We will visit each family in their house, and you will know once monthly. You will know how they changed, how their life changed, and to ask from them about the differences that they could have between and after and before the program or the project. All of these actions will have or will take will leave an important effect in the Egyptian society, especially in the villages.
This particular project, like you kindly elaborated, that it is going to improve the qualities of population in Egypt.
Yes.
It's very clear. But needing to improve the quality of population, we need also to work over a health level, over also an educational level. Keeping a national ability to be able to produce more work opportunities and provide work opportunities. Once we train those people and try to educate them and everything, then we have to be providing them with a workforce, community where they can be able to produce and be part of the working force, the national working force community, or the national or the workforce for certain markets and everything. How is that going to happen?
This is going to happen through dealing with the problem. Now, first of all, I'd like to say that as President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi mentioned in the program, that we have a modern education project, and we are modeling, and we have already done many things and have to exert many efforts in this level. What is the target or the aim? What's our need from this certain project? We need to have a qualified student who is able to go to the market, to the workforce market. Now, the problem is not we don't have work vacancies in Egypt, but the main problem is we don't have available, or we don't have those who are able to work on these actions. Most of them are working, understand the international standards. Most of them do not know what is the meaning of equality. And all of these problems are related to the quality, to the expression of the quality. We have to raise the quality of our students. We have to give them the tools that we will work with. You are not expected to work as a doctor. You are not expected to work as an engineering or as a teacher, but you have to work differently. You have to work in a smart way. You have to express yourself in your field as you can, and to affect the people who are waiting you or who are working with you. This is the first. So the first is how to use quality in the project, and the second thing in this problem is to help people, or to advise people to enlarge or downsize the number of new birth, because every year we have from 700,000 to 1.2 million persons who are or have the willing to enter the working force market. Every economy can't generate this kind or this type of work opportunities annually. It's not easy for this. So I would like to downsize the number, at the same time to provide those who will enter the market with the basic skills and the basic needs which enables them to do what they want.
If you could excuse us, we're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue this episode and in a few moments. So let's go to a short break. Welcome back. Of course, this national project's goals is going parallel with the goals that you have just taken a quick look over of Hayat Karima or Decent Life project. Of course, it's one of the babies and one of the sub projects for Decent Life. Like we earlier said, that Decent Life is the umbrella for all these national social projects. Of course, going back to Mr. Mohamed Salah, our dear guest, of course, let us talk about the goals we have, because we have too many things. I hope we could cover it in this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Let us first start off with the goals. The goals, like I said, are going in parallel with the goals of Decent Life project goals, and we could say it is part of the project itself, providing families in the different governorates with basic services, village health centers, educational centers, civil service networks like water, electricity, and all that. If you like to elaborate real quick so that we can get into the dimensions.
Well, we have to speak on this on basis of the new basis of the Egyptian trend towards the population in Egypt. As we have said, that we have to improve our rates. We have to improve our numbers. As we say that we have a very bad numbers in many things regarding the population. So the goals of this will be specified as below. We will involve them or provide them with the basic needs they have. This must be here for them or there for them to think differently and to start changing their life. We'll give them, as what we have said, what's about incentives, about giving or understanding the project and understanding the goals of this project. And we will have also a lot of things to do with the children. We are not targeting women only. We are targeting also children. Why we are targeting the children? Because the children are the future father and the future mother, and we have to make sure that the future father and the future mother know well what we are talking about, and to know from this age that he will be responsible for his son, and he won't give his son or his daughter the problem, will inherit them these problems like what he has lived. So we have to make sure that these children or the future father and the future mother have a strong knowledge about this. The last target, which is regarding about fighting poverty. and which is one of the most important goals of the Sustainable Development Program, which is fighting poverty and give them the highest level of living, the highest standards of living as we can do. And this is what we are, doing in Decent Life and in the national project for developing
the Egyptian family. But also there is an important aspect which is working very hard to prepare them to start the micro projects and training them to do business based on each on his scales and skills. Because they need to provide them for a sustainable income that will have them be part of the economic development for the whole country.
Yes, and this is one of the most important goals also, which is transforming them from consumers to producers. You will transform them, or will change their lives from consuming and giving goods and services to producers. When they turn into producers, our KPIs or our rates will be better, whether in the population level or in the economic level, because your workforce is producing. You are producing more and more. You are giving more and more. And this is very important and vital for the Egyptian national economy, to work and to depend on each other. As President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said, these people must live in the highest standard of living in order to save Egypt. It's not a matter of saving people only. It's a matter of saving Egypt from falling again into chaos and into instability actions like what happened in 2011. And I think Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli said that population now is national security. And it's not easy for the Prime Minister of Egypt to say such example or to say such word. When I say that the growing number of population in Egypt is related to the national security, we have to know that we are in the front of a very important project or a very important problem that we have all to be gathered in order to face it, and in order to solve this problem finally in a sustainable basis, inshallah.
Let's talk about the targeted groups for this particular project. The project is targeting families of almost 1,520 villages in 20 governorates.
Yes.
And this is going to take a span of not more than 3 years. Yes. And this will be implemented on 3 stages in parallel, of course, to Decent Life.
Decent Life, yes.
So the project is concentrating on women in the age between 18 to 40.
Yes.
Integrated courses to draw to their attention how to provide the rise in birth rates, and the course also includes types of incentives, committed to course goals to get financial incentives to be able to encourage them. But why the age range is between 18 and 40? Why are they limiting the age?
Because this is the age of delivering babies in women. And I have to say to
Is it only about delivering, giving babies? Should
yes,
it be also enabling them to start SMEs?
The main is this. The main is changing their culture. I have to change their culture from all aspects, from all sides. I would like to work with the economic side in parallel with the cultural side. I will work on both, and on this project we are not taking it into consideration that, as we have mentioned before, we will not work isolately. No, we will work in one teamwork, and we will move together in order to change all of this. So we are targeting women in this age because of delivering babies, and for they have the ability to change their ideas and the ability to learn new tasks are ready for them. They have the ability to learn new tasks. They have the desire to change their life. It is what we are calling it. They are the age of youth. They have the ability to work. They have the ability to add, to move, so they will have the ability to change or to achieve the goals of this program.
What about the children? Of course, they are also targeted in that particular social project. They are also targeting under 18 years, and they will be taking courses to get them acquainted with the goals for this project. Why?
Why? Because, as I mentioned before, because they are the future father and mother, and they have to know well that this knowledge must be, have to be sure that this generation or the coming generation know the bad impact of having many number of children on the level of standard of living. So they have to make sure. I have to make sure that these children have this knowledge in order to change this fact when they grow up and to turn to be father and mother in the future.
Talking about the dimensions for this huge national project, there are five basic dimensions or components for these goals. Of course, this is going to be executed through governmental, private, and civil society organizational sectors, all in collaboration, just like the Hayya Karima.
Yes.
But let us talk about, for example, first, which is the most important, and it is the foundation, the economic dimension.
The economic dimension, in addition to what we have said before about incentives and about SMEs and about micro level of project, we are dealing with courses to enable them to know what they are good at. I would like to, from this person or the population or the targeted groups, to see their persons and to see their skills and attitudes and the knowledge in another way. And he will know that he is talented on this, so I will help him to work in this. He is good at so and so. One of them is good at work as a carpenter. I will help him to have a carpenter to work as a carpenter in a way. Other is working as a plumber. I will help him to work as a plumber in a good way. This SMEs, and depending on their talents and their skills, will help him, as I said, to find a sustainable income for them in the future. And this is about the economic dimension.
So there was a great deal of concern about breadwinners or supporting women or the single moms, which really deserves great respect from the president, as he is the sole empowering driving force for women.
Let me say that
about single
lucky.
moms and breadwinners and supporting women who are fighting with their to feed their kids only by their efforts, which that is highly taking great respect and concern by the president.
Let me say that the Egyptians are lucky with their mothers and with their women in general. In Egypt, you have a different kind of women and a different type of mothers. They have the parity and the desire to be deprived from any rights for the sake of their sons, for the sake of their families. Like President Sisi said many times before, houses in Egypt is built upon women. They are who manages houses. They are who is covering family with all of its needs. So I think this time, or on this stage, we have to respect them. We have to serve them. We have to help them in order to complete their way in life. So I'd like to say that we are lucky with the Egyptian women, and I think in this project we will have the opportunity to help them to complete their life and to get their goals, inshallah.
Inshallah. Also talking about the service intervention dimension, which is also very important, because we have now basic services like water, electricity, natural gas, and communication and everything, but on top of all, also free medical centers that are going to give medical services for free. Like
Yes.
in the form of insurance, is it going to be?
It's not a kind of insurance, but let me say that it will be done from the side of civil society organizations. They will be responsible for providing these cities with 4,000 doctors, especially in reproductive health, which is caring with birth, delivering babies, and which caring is with birth dates, in order to help them to use.
And of course, treating chronic disease.
Yes, chronic disease, but they are in this project we are talking about, especially in birth control. So you will be classified, or there will be working on the field of birth control and how to use birth control tools in a proper way, and to change the life, and to change what they are thinking about these means and these ideas, because many of the women are fearing. There is a fear from using these tools, and this doctors will give them the right way to know, and the right action to do. They will not treat them as patients only. No, they will also give them advices. They will also share their fears. They will also making sure that they are walking in the right side, in the right way.
There were also talks about mobile units of food and services and food baskets given.
Yes.
Because it looks like a utopia. I mean, it could be creating a haven of Egyptian society, taking it from a level of poverty and complications in the background and everything, to a disciplined, well-cultured society, and also empowered and supported by the government in a decent, emotional way at the same time.
Yes, and this is an important side from this project. And as I said, I will not go to punishment directly, no. First of all, I would like to give them the right environment to work in or to live in. I would like to, then I will give them the basics of needs as food. I would like to say that the baskets of food will be free also.
As incentives?
Yes, as
for
incentives
children and
for them.
families, for mothers.
Yes, and it will be delivered for them. These cities or these villages that are targeted in the first stage are one of the most the most level of poverty all over Egypt. So you have to change their life. How could you change the life of a hungry man? Hungry families, what shall they do? They have to be provided with the basics, like food, like health. I'd like to say to them that we are with you, we are standing with you, we are helping you, we are supporting you. You are not alone. All the Egyptians are supporting, all the Egyptians are taking care of you. And never be afraid, or never be ashamed from the future. You will have the full opportunity to change yourself. Just we need you to change yourself already and to work in this direction with us in order to be better in the future.
Of course, and also talking about the cultural dimension, which is, if you could link it, it's very important, not in the sense of culture, but in the sense of one of the most causes that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have been focusing on ever since he stepped into office, talking about changing the religious discourse and try to improve the religious speech. Some of the complications and wrong misconceptions that are taking place in some areas in Egypt. So this is going to serve that cause in the sense of bringing together representatives from Al-Azhar and from the church to be able to hold sessions, to be in direct contact with the community there, and some governorates, the targeted governorates, and talking to people, giving them awareness campaigns to be able to enlighten them.
Yes, and this is
the proper culture.
Yes,
when
and
it
this
comes
is the problem.
To the religious course.
Let me say that the most hard obstacle that we are facing now is a changing culture. I can't change the system. I can't change cities. I can't change building. But the culture, we have to work more. We have to concentrate more.
Have to change the mindset.
Yes, the mindset itself, that we have to exert more efforts on this. So in this project, we are willing to have a home visit every month. We'll have one home visit monthly from these teams, which will include psychologists, which will include members from Azhar, from church, in order to start direct speech with these families. This was not happening in the past. Now this will happen. Now we will see these actions in the coming future, and we will see the effect of this. All of these people, all of these families are working that a lot of sons is good for God. A lot of sons will give you a lot of money, and God praying babies, and God will provide you with their money or with their
totally wrong culture.
Yes, so we would like to change this mind, and for Sari, this ideas was distributed among a large number of Egyptians, because the Egyptian dialogue was not carried out from Al-Azhar and the church. So we have to go back to our religious authorities, yes, our religious authority, and would like to say to them that if you are not able to provide your baby with his rights, with his basic rights, I'm not talking about international school or cars, but I'm talking about basic rights. You have to give them what we are calling it environment that he can live in and to achieve about it.
Right. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, and I guess we'll have to end it here. Of course, Mr. Mohamed Salah, you are a member of Board of Directors, Egyptian Youth Organization. Would like to thank you so much for today's episode.
I would like to thank you also.
All the best to you. Thank you so much.
Merci.
And this is where we end this edition of Windows on Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again next week, that's it. Bye.